fashion of priority, and this is not at the top of that list.
Yes, my lady. I'd be very, any date, we're most convenient with the court, my lady.
All right, so any issue with me just rolling this over to the May arraignment session?
No, my
No, my
lady.
lady, I was actually going to indicate that the Crown would suggest that.
Okay, thank you. So adjourn to 1st of May. At 10 a.m. for mention. We'll see where we are at that point. It may be, I have to say, I don't know very much about the grounds on which the disclosure application is being made, but if there is any sort of room for agreement between counsel, all efforts should really be employed.
I'm grateful.
Okay, anything else I need to address my mind to before I call the next matter?
No, my lady, just on the May date, that would be the indictment to be put to the defendants, my lady.
Yes,
Because of the,
will be to be arraigned, yes.
yes. So like that would be in person then, is that correct, on the morning?
Yes, in the Sessions House. Thank you very much. It's helpful. This will not be by Zoom. This will be in Sessions House, court number 1. And defendants to be arraigned.
I'm sorry, my lady. Am I off mute? The 1st of May is actually a Sunday. It would be the 2nd of May.
Oh, okay. Well, let me just say the May arraignment session.
Okay.
Whatever's the first, I said that loosely, but I probably should be more accurate.
Yeah.
So Monday, the 2nd of May. All right. Anything else?
No, my lady, I'm grateful. Thank you for
All
your
right, thank
patience.
you very much.
As am I, my lady.
Okay, thank you.
I shall stay on. There is another matter with another client that I shall stay on for, my lady.
Okay, is that one of the appeals? Because I think this is the last of my indictments.
Yes, it
My
is.
lady, there is the David Curley matter as well, which was set for today.
Yes.
Mr. Curley is online.
Oh, I see. Mr. Curley, can I just, yes, I see you there. Thank you. And I do see that in front of me. What's the position for Curley?
My lady, I was in dialogue. I am in dialogue, I'm sorry, with Mr. Pettingill in relation to this matter, and we're asking if it could also be put to the May arraignment for us to hopefully complete our discussion.
Okay.
Mr. Pettingill, my lady, is currently in an appeal matter.
Yes. All right, so I'll adjourn this matter to the 2nd of May 2022 at 10 a.m. Supreme Court number 1. And so, Mr. Curley, you will understand clearly from this court that this is not going to be another Zoom session. This will be in the courtroom. All right, thank you. Adjourned 2nd of May at 10 a.m. Supreme Court number 1. And I'm going to just make a note that he's to be arraigned, but if for whatever reason I'm told otherwise, then I will deal with that on the 2nd of May. Yes, okay. But it's correct, he's not yet been arraigned.
That is correct, my lady.
All right, so in respect of the last 2 matters, in fact, Parkin, Adley, and also Curley, although they're separate matters, bail is extended. Same terms. Can I now move on to the appeals? Yes? Okay, thank you. Now, unless there is counsel who wants to assert their seniority, I'm going to take this in the order of the files as I see them. The first one is Lamont Marshall, number 32 of 2021.
That's mine, milady.
Okay, thank you.
My lady, I appear for the Crown.
Thank you.
Milady, on the last occasion, this matter was adjourned until today in order to give time for the magistrates court to get back to me in relation to an application I filed in that jurisdiction under section 82 of the Criminal Procedure and Jurisdiction Act 2015.
So
Unfortunately,
that was for the adjustment of sentence?
yes.
Right.
Unfortunately, and I'm not too sure whether it's because the senior magistrate has been elsewhere, I have not heard back from anyone at the magistrate's court in relation to that application, despite writing twice for an update. In the circumstances, it seems as if acting in my client's best interests, I'll have no other option but to ask her ladyship today to set this matter down for appeal.
Mhm.
And of course, if I do get anywhere in the meantime, I will let the court know and
All right, you should continue with your efforts to do that.
yes, I suspect it might. I'm not too sure if the senior magistrate was acting as justice in that recent murder case, but if he was, then understandably he would have been preoccupied. And
It's
maybe
my understanding that he will be sitting in that capacity until mid-April.
perhaps
so
I'll write to the acting
I
senior.
think that you should really reach out to whoever's sitting as an acting senior magistrate.
I'll do that. Thank you.
All right. Sorry, who's my crown counsel? Did I have Miss Sofianos?
Miss Sofianos, yes,
Thank
my
you.
lady.
All right. Let's start with a hearing date.
What month are you looking at, my lady?
And I would like to see if I can just get rid of this. Maybe if not this month, next month. But
I'm overseas between the 28th of March and the 8th of April,
okay, well, let's look at,
and I will not be available during that time.
My lady, I'm about to start a Supreme Court trial on Monday, which is estimated to last for 2 weeks.
no, I'm
I
in
don't think
April. I'm in April.
I'm obliged.
Yes.
So after the 11th.
In fact, I'm looking at the week of the 11th of April,
Yes.
Wednesday, the 13th of April at 2:30 p.m.
That's fine for the Crown.
All right.
Thank you. That's fine for me.
Thank you. Wednesday, 13th of April. At 2:30 p.m. by Zoom. And the parties both have the record of appeal.
Yes, my lady.
Yes.
So this is just appeal against sentence, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I shouldn't think it will take longer than an hour at the most,
Thank you. That's helpful.
if it can't be agreed beforehand.
All right. Skeleton arguments. 14 days. Simultaneously each party.
I'll be submitting mine on the 25th of March.
Okay. On the 25th of March.
Well, I'm leaving to go on holiday on the 28th, so I will have to submit mine on the 25th just to give
What you're doing is you're asking for me to set a direction that allows you to do that?
Milady, if that's what I need to do, yes, because I will definitely not be filing them after the 28th of March. So if I could get leave from the court, milady, to file my submissions in relation to this appeal on no later than the 25th of March, obviously that.
When you say no later, you're confusing me. Are you able to file this is your client's appeal. Are you able to file submissions in the next 14 days?
Oh, sorry, I'm sorry. I'm confusing myself. Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right.
14
So the
days.
rest is not
I'm sorry.
necessary. Okay. Anything else?
No, my lady.
All right, let's move on to the next one. Thank you. Valencia Berkeley.
Yes, also mine.
Lady, I am holding for Mr. Richards in relation to this matter.
I would be asking for something almost identical in its terms to the last one.
1 moment, please. All right, so what's the position? This was last before me, 1st of December, last year. I don't know why that says 2022. And the appeal was fixed for 6th of January. Oh, I remember this.
I was.
So what are you asking for, Ms. Greening?
Just an appeal date and 14 days to file submissions.
I see. What's this appeal about? Remind me.
It's a magistrate's court drug case. My client was convicted. She's appealing against conviction. She has not been sentenced as yet.
Okay, thank you. Sentence has been stayed.
Yes.
All right, want to do Wednesday, the 13th at 10 a.m. Wednesday, 13th of April.
Lady, may we have a date in May for this matter?
Friday, the 6th of May at 10 a.m.
That is convenient to the Crown, milady.
Thank you. Also for me.
All right. So appeal.
In person, milady?
No, by Zoom, please. Is there any reason why we can't do this by Zoom?
No.
No, milady.
It just allows me not to worry about the availability of courtrooms and so forth. appeal fixed for 6th of May. 2020 at 10 a.m. by Zoom. You'll have to make sure that Ms. Berkeley is present, please.
Yes.
Scouts and arguments, 14 days, same direction as I just earlier gave each party. Can I also, for this matter, please, I don't want to go looking for various documents to understand the facts. Can I get some sort of a summary of what the facts are succinctly, whether it's embedded in your skeleton arguments? But one of the things that frustrates me sometimes in appeals is that I've got to read various documents just to get the basic understanding as to what the case was about. And what evidence was heard. For example, what witnesses were called and what the Crohn's case was at trial.
Yes.
Please. So I'm making a note that I've asked for a summary of the trial and the evidence at trial.
Noted, my lady.
Thank you. The other thing I should say is that I find it helpful if you can also email to the court your submissions. It allows me, if there are any passages that I want to restate from your submissions, it just allows for quicker judgment writing sometimes. So by all means, and the same for the cases that you're relying on. If you can just send those also by email, then I think that I wouldn't make a fuss about those things not being in hard copy. All right, next matter.
My lady, that is the extent of my list. May I be excused?
Thank you very much, Ms. Gardner-Brown. Thank you for your assistance. Ms. Greening, you have another matter?
No, those are my matters. May I be excused? Thank
Thank you,
you.
Ms. Greening, yes. Next one on my list is Don J. Lamb. And the,
My lady, I'm holding this matter for Cantisha Tweed.
yes,
My understanding is that the appeal date had already been set for the 13th of June at 10 a.m.
appeal. Yes, why did I mention this for the 1st of March? There's some,
You weren't sure. It says here that the,
I did it in court though with counsel present, so there was something that would have necessitated.
I believe
that.
Ms. Clark was holding for Ms. Tweed, but there's a note here to say that I think Mr. Wilson appears. Is he
I
present
did.
today? Oh, there he is.
Yes, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Wilson. So Wilson, can you just refresh my memory? I imagine I would have
Unfortunately,
set that down for,
unfortunately, my
reason.
lady, I cannot be of assistance in that regard.
I'll tell you what I suspect it was. I always like for counsel to confirm that there's no issues with the record and whether or not transcripts or anything like that would be necessary. So it accords very vaguely with my recollection that I would have made that inquiry. And if I didn't get a clear answer, would have mentioned it again.
My lady, I don't think that that was the issue. What I do recall is that Mr. Lamb was off island at the time that we last mentioned this. He
Right.
is still off island to my knowledge. So it may have been that you mentioned it today to see what his status was. But I would have to agree with my learned friend, Ms. Sofianos. The matter was due to be heard back in November of last year. And
Right.
it's now, to my knowledge, been set. It's been given a fixed date.
Yes,
So,
they fixed it in February.
right.
All right, well, let me just ask you so that I am assured. Oh, I see what's happened here. Mr. Wilson, you weren't here on the 1st of February. And nor was your client. I think it was just a DVP that was here and I fixed the date.
My note says Mr. Wilson was present
Really?
I recall being
and
present.
his client was not present, and Mr. Wilson said
Oh,
that
so,
he was
okay,
away with his son
client
who
that
had
was
special
present.
needs.
All right, well, look, let's just advance it. Number one, I want to confirm what the directions are for, in preparation for the 13th of June hearing. And number two, I would like for you to positively confirm that there is no need for transcripts and that the record is not contentious or gives no rise for contention.
No, there's no need for the, there's no need for that.
Okay. And Ms. Sofianos, remind me you're holding for Ms. Tweed?
I'm holding for Ms. Tweed. I understand submissions have been filed from both sides, although Ms. Tweed didn't speak about any need for transcripts. If there is a change,
Submissions have
I think I
been,
might have frozen.
so this is an appeal against conviction
Yes,
and submissions are in for both. I see your submissions, I believe. Yes, Mr. Wilson?
yes, ma'am.
I see your binder, yes, and this is your skeleton at tab 2.
Yes, ma'am.
And the Crown submissions, let me just check.
I recall receiving Ms. Tweed's submissions.
All right, let's see. All right. Maybe I can get a date sooner than June. June is far away, isn't it?
It is. However, my lady, when I last had correspondence with Mr. Lamb, he said that his likely return date would be in May. And I
Okay, so it was to accommodate that.
Yes, I think that's why it was set for June.
Sentence has been stayed?
To my recollection, I don't know. I
The
can't.
sentence has been passed.
Yes, there was a sentence passed.
So then it wouldn't have been, what was the sentence passed?
I believe it was a $1,500 fine.
Right. So we're not looking at a custodial sentence.
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right. I will confirm the date, the 13th of June then.
I'm grateful.
Let me just check because I know that. All right. Confirmed 13th of June.
At 10 a.m.
That's right. 10 a.m.
Obliged.
No transcript necessary. Retrial. And do I have any sort of summary in my submissions? And the submissions that have already been filed, the facts set out?
I usually set out the facts, so I can't imagine why I wouldn't have done so this time.
Okay, well, I can see the Crown has given me some sort of a summary, which is sufficient. All
Obliged.
right, so no further directions necessary. And Mr. Wilson, I see you also did, in fact, helpfully set out the facts. Thank you.
Yes, my lady.
Anything else?
Not to my knowledge.
No, my lady, I'm obliged.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's call the next matter. Brian Elkin.
Good afternoon, lady. I have conduct of that matter for the respondent.
Yes, good afternoon, Ms. Smith. Thank you.
And good afternoon, my lady. I appear with Mr. Alcon on this appeal, and Mr. Alcon is here in my office.
Is that Mrs. Scott I hear?
Yes, my lady. Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Scott.
My lady, first, if you'd allow me to apologize for 2 occasions in which I could not appear in this matter. I believe one of the first occasions I was sick, I was on leave,
Yes.
and another occasion I was abroad
Yeah.
on business leave, and when I
Yeah.
returned, I was subsequently sick. So.
Well, these things happen more frequently, Ms. Smith. Each and every one of us are human beings that are vulnerable to these things, so we just get on with it, and that's fine. I don't think any apology is necessary.
Thank you.
No. Mr. This is quite a large file for.
This is an appeal to my lady where you requested the same kind of directions you just did about a statement of facts to assist you with navigating through, not having to navigate through lots of reading. So I've submitted my submissions and tried to give a summary of facts, but having heard you in your last matter, I may even be able to improve the summary if you wish to understand who gave evidence.
Yes, I mean, I don't mind if it's in, whether it be in your submissions or the Crohn's, but it's just nice to have a very immediate and quick, without having to read a 15-page judgment or anything like that, to just get a sense as to what are the very basic facts. It looks like you may have done that already, though, Mr. Scott. When I just peruse, yes, Mrs.
Yes.
Scott, I have the impression that that's
I'm glad
set
that
out in your skeleton argument from paragraphs 8 onwards.
I endeavored to do so, my lady, and then,
Thank you.
of course, my friend was busy at the Privy Council, so I completely
All right.
waiting
Okay.
to
So we have your submissions.
My lady, you have not yet received the respondent submissions, but they will be done in short order.
Okay, so I set them down. You can file them in the next 14 days, because I'm not going to set this in the
I'm
next
grateful.
14 days. All right.
Thank you.
I also acknowledge, for the sake of the record, the presence of Mr. Alkin sitting behind Mr. Scott. Is that correct?
That's correct, yes. Right. Yeah, just.
Right. I can set this matter down for Tuesday, the 14th of June at 2:30 p.m.
I'm available, my lady, thank you.
Yes?
2:30 p.m.
By Zoom.
By Zoom, yes.
Thank you.
2:30.
Right, and then as I said, Crown to file skeleton arguments in 14 days.
Yes, my lady.
I mean, quite frankly, I can even give you longer than that. Really, it's not likely that the arguments will be needed in 14 days. I can give you 21 or even 28 days. I think
I'd be grateful for 20 for that.
Okay, so I'll give you 28 days.
Thank you, my lady.
28 days. Anything further? No.
There's nothing further for the
Thank you very
respondent, my
much.
lady.
Mr. Scott, do you have any of the other matters before me?
My lady, no, I regret to say I have
Okay.
finished all my matters.
All right, thank you very
Thank
much,
you.
counsel.
Thank you.
Okay, and then I have Subair Burrows.
I also have conduct of that matter, my lady.
My lady, good afternoon again. I appear for Mr. Burrows.
Yes, thank you. All right, so this is another matter that was before me on the 1st of February, 2020, and I gave directions for the appellant. No, I see skeleton arguments were already filed by the appellant. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And now, if they were filed by you, Mr. Wilson, I know that you usually file arguments in a binder. Were they just filed? Let me just make sure I have them. This may be it. Yes, okay. I think these are yours. th of January, is that right?
That sounds right, my lady. I did draft the arguments, but I don't think that I was the one that filed them. I think Mr.
Well, that's fine. They're definitely in front of me. And the Crown was directed to send a response in 14 days thereafter, which would have been, I know.
Last week, Thursday.
Yes, unfortunately, my lady, I didn't get that
Same
instruction.
position? Sorry, go on.
Pardon me?
No, go on.
I did not receive that instruction. And so I haven't filed any submissions.
All right.
But this is seemingly a thinner matter than my previous matter.
Mhm.
The issues seem narrower. So I'm in
All
the
right,
court's
so
hands.
Tuesday, the 14th of June at 10 a.m. We can actually do this
Yes.
at 11 a.m. Yes?
Great indulgence.
I'm sorry, so that was 10 a.m. or 11?
11, I think, is sufficient time.
My lady, would the court have any availability prior to the 13th of June or subsequent to the 17th of June?
Let's see. I can do Tuesday, the 21st of June at 2:30.
I'd be grateful for that, my lady. Thank you.
Ms. Wilson?
That's fine, my lady. Thank you.
Okay, so appeal fixed for Tuesday, the 21st of June at 2:30 p.m. by Zoom. Skeleton arguments, 28 days to be filed by the appellant and Oh, wait, sorry, you filed yours. So you can have 28 days to respond, Ms. Smith.
Thank you, my lady.
Anything else?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you very much.
May I be excused, please?
My
Yes,
lady,
it's
did
very
the
much
appellant have
appreciated.
to be present in person for today's hearing?
I don't insist on it really for the chamber's directions hearings, but obviously for the hearing of the appeal, yes.
Oh, I see. Yes, thank you.
I'm great. Thank you, my lady.
Thank you very much. Next matter in front of me is Vernon Eve.
Good afternoon, my lady. I appear for Mr. Eve. He's
Yes.
not present. Having just heard what your lady said about appeals, it doesn't seem to be such an issue, but he's actually in quarantine, just for the record. Excuse me. Sorry, he's actually in quarantine, which is
And
why
I
he's not
appear for the respondent. Sorry.
One moment, please. I didn't hear all of what you've just said, Mr. Desmond. You said, can you just repeat that, please?
Yeah, sorry, something popped up on my screen from Zoom. Mr. Eve is in quarantine today. We had heard, unfortunately, that his father passed away, which is why we originally thought he wasn't available. But in fact, he can't even go to his father's funeral because he's in quarantine, which is very sad. But yeah, so that's just for the record. That's why he's not here today.
Okay, thank you. All right, so what is this about?
My lady, we had written in requesting the matter to be adjourned as we're still waiting for a recording from CourtSmart. We've actually been trying to seek it for nearly a year, in fact. And most recently, well, up to about a week ago, we keep asking for it. We've sent payment, but we have nothing in return. It's necessary because the comments of the senior magistrate when passing the sentence was what has triggered some of the appeal.
What's the date of the recording sought?
It's, if I can have a moment.
That's necessary. If you write in.
Yes, we did provide the date.
Oh, did you?
Yes, it's. Excuse me.
Well, it was the date of the actual hearing isn't in the letter.
I
And
don't
Yes,
I
see it.
believe that
I'm looking
the
at
hearing was the
the
13th of January.
Yes,
I'm looking at your 7th of February letter, and I don't see any other letter. Let's see.
I see. Yes, we wrote a letter on the 11th of February 2021 was our first letter, I believe, in which we were seeking a copy of the recording of the 13th of January 2021, and we provided payment for it.
Sorry, one
Then-
moment. Your letter of, I just want to be able to refer to the letter when I give a direction. So
Yes.
for some reason it's not on the file, but you said, what's the date of the letter?
The date of the letter is the 5th of, sorry, let me see, is the 11th of February 2021. That letter was, sorry, addressed to the Magistrates Court asking for a copy of the recording for CourtSmart.
Well,
And the
I mean,
payment was,
I think, Mr. Desmond, it may assist you to know, especially if these letters are going to be sent in respect of other matters. You really should be directing any letter for CourtSmart reporting to the registrar, who will then direct it to a member of the IT team. It will be either Frank Vasquez or Brian Mello who will do it. They do it usually in a very quick turnaround period. I know that if I speak to them, It will probably land on your desk in the next 48 hours. It's not
Wow.
complicated, it's not difficult, but what you do have to do is provide the date of the hearing. You cannot
Yes.
expect that they will go fishing around to find out what the date, all they want is the name of the case and the date of the hearing and the
Yes.
courtroom that it was heard in. And
Yes, but
if your letter just very simply sets out those things, you should get it quickly.
thank you, my lady. We will do that. I've just seen the letter that was actually from my assistant that doesn't actually give the date on the 7th of February 2022 letter.
Cut out any
Uh,
narrative that they're not interested in anything about the case. Just simply say case
Of
name, date of hearing, date of the judge or the magistrate who heard it, and that's the recording that you want. Here's $50 or whatever it is that they charge you for it.
Certainly, thank you. We don't normally, I mean, we've got another matter that's got a problem, but normally they are very responsive.
Yeah. So anyway,
But-
that's that. Where does that take us? What does that? How does that impact on what we need
So,
to know?
Could we have another chambers, a list of the chambers for next month, so that by that time, hopefully, we'll be able to indicate to the court that we've got the recording and we know that we can move forwards.
All right. So
It doesn't impact Mr. Eve because he was allowed to continue to drive by the court, so he's still driving, my lady.
So May 2nd. Oh, I didn't perceive that difficulty. I should let them know. Where's the senior prosecutor? Miss Smith. It has
Yes, my lady.
just become obvious to me, I don't know why it wasn't obvious sooner, that I have the matter of Tyshawn Brown starting on Monday, the 2nd of May.
Yes, my lady.
That would not start on Monday, the 2nd of May, because that's would be arraignments.
Yes.
Would you be so kind to convey that to the DPP, who can also communicate that to Ms. Christopher?
Yes. Yes, my lady.
Thank you. It's listed as a 4-day hearing, but they, I think, have given me some indication that it can be done in 3 days. So the start date would actually be Tuesday, the 3rd of May.
Okay.
And
Yes, my lady.
that's obvious, because I want to set this matter down for mention on Monday, the 2nd of May at 2:30 p.m. I suppose I would do that by Zoom.
Okay. So this is Monday, the 2nd of May,
Monday, the
2:30
2nd
via
of-
Zoom.
Yes, at 2:30. I'm going to try and keep the appeals. These monthly mentions, I'll keep them for appeals in the afternoon. And I don't see why we can't do that by Zoom. But the indictments and the monthly arraignment session will obviously be in Supreme Court number 1. And that's the general, I think,
Yes, my lady.
how I want to do it going forward.
Yes, my lady.
So, and I can see the efficiency of Ms. O'Connor. She's already written to Mr. Mello asking for your court smart audio.
I'm very grateful. Thank you.
Yes.
I will
Could I
do
just-
that
Sorry?
just so it's.
Sorry.
I'll provide a letter as well, just so it's in writing
Yes,
as well.
please. Thank you.
Could I
Right,
just say
so
that if
ma'am-
my learned friend is, excuse me, my lady, could I just say that my learned friend is seeking to rely on the audio if I get a copy of that as well?
Of course, I'll provide my letter for with a copy.
And thank
So,
you.
Mention 2nd of May at 2:30 p.m. via Zoom.
Mhm.
All right?
Yes, my lady.
Okay, great. Next matter.
Thank you,
Tatum
baby.
Ford. Yes, thank you, Mr. Dismon, and I wish you a very speedy recovery.
Thank you, my lady.
Thank you.
I appear for Tatum Ford. This is Ms. Sofianos.
Thank you, Ms. Sofianos.
I don't believe the appellant is represented, and I don't know if he's here.
This is a familiar issue. It is. They give it to. Well, I don't see any sign that indicates to me that anything was done by the court to expect his attendance. Notwithstanding my written direction that he needs to be provided with the Zoom details for the 1st of March. However, I will say, Ms. Osmond, is this the matter you were referring to earlier?
Yes,
Okay, sorry. So,
so we
let's
have
see.
to contact Mr. Ford.
Did he come to court, or does he know anything about?
No, I'm not sure he's aware.
Okay, I'm gonna roll this matter into, what type of matter is this? Is this
My
his
lady,
appeal?
Mr. Ford is a regiment soldier, and after curfew hours, he went to his grandmother's house and he was charged with a breach of curfew.
Right,
It was after he had knocked off from his regiment duties. The court may want to try contacting him through the Bermuda Regiment. That might be an option. So he's appealed. I don't know if he's ever appeared because I think it first came
no, he has
last.
not. And am I correct that he pled guilty before the senior magistrate on the 25th of May to the offenses on the information? I think that's at page.
My lady, I'm sorry, my Zoom timed out just then. I didn't catch any of that.
Oh, no, I was just gonna say, this is an appeal against sentence, is that right?
Yes, my lady.
Okay. Probably something that could be dealt with very quickly.
I would imagine so, my lady.
Do I need to should I just set the appeal hearing and then just send the information out to him instead of all of this mentioned directions?
I believe the comment was he's not obliged to file submission, so that would be fair.
He doesn't have to. It's just if he wants to assist the court in understanding his arguments, he can do that. If he doesn't, then
Yes, my lady.
it's a matter for him.
I'm
Really.
fine if you fix a appeal date. That's fine for me.
All right, good. Sorry, can I just get an indication? Ms. O'Connor, I believe that you're listening, and if you are, can you just assist me for a quick moment? I just have a quick query. Let me come off camera just for a brief moment.
Obliged.
All right. I have not yet set any appeal matters done for the 1st of April at 2:30. I'm wondering if that is an opportunity. The only thing is that other appeals may come in.
The 1st of April at 2:30.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, if this is one of those things that we can just knock out quickly. If it's only against sentence, I can put it down. And even if I mention other appeals, so I can mention those first and then we can follow it with hearing this appeal.
I'm obliged. I'm available.
I don't think
guess
that
just
we're
to-
likely to have a long list for the 1st of April. I said two what? Sorry? For the 1st of April at 2:30? Of 2 appeals? Am I likely to have many more? No, but that's all empty, like this is. I think we can do it. Miss Sofianos, I think that we can, I think we can get through it. I would mention, I'm told by Ms. O'Connor that there are 2 matters that have administratively been set. Imagine 5 minutes per matter for directions and whatnot, and then we can just go on and at least be one appeal done.
I'm obliged, my lady.
Okay, and if that proves difficult, then at least it will be in front of me in the monthly mention and I can give it another date.
I'm obliged.
Okay.
I'm not sure if you heard me because I was going in and out on Zoom, but I recommended that the
Oh,
court
I thought it
try
was a
Bermuda
delayed
Regiment.
reply. Okay,
They might be able to reach him there. I think he might still be a soldier.
okay.
I'm obliged.
Yeah, miss.
And I haven't filed a response yet, my lady, but I will file if I can have 3 weeks to file, I'd appreciate it.
That's fine. 3 weeks. Yes, that should be fine.
I'm obliged.
I mean, you're just responding at all. I mean, really and truly, you would just be assisting the court.
Yes, my lady. I think you had mentioned before that you wanted a copy of the legislation. I've actually started the submissions, but I'm going to be somewhere else for the next week or so. So
Yes. Yes, this is one of those situations where I will want to have a copy, please, of the legislation. And written arguments from the Crown, even if the appellant does not file anything, because these are provisions that are relatively new to the court.
I'm obliged, my lady. Will do.
Thank you.
Unless I can be of any further assistance, that's my only other matter.
No, thank you very much. So 21 days for your skeleton arguments and appeal
My lady, if I may be excused.
fixed. Yes, thank you, Ms. Sofianos.
My lady, I
Thank you,
have
lady.
no further matters. May I be excused?
Yes, thank you, Ms. Smith. Do I still have a
Thank you.
prosecutor before you go off as the last?
No, I could
prosecutor?
stay.
Well, I just want to make sure
I
I
could
have a
stay.
prosecutor, because before I excuse you and then I have no, oh, no, I see Ms. Trotter still there.
Yes,
Okay,
Ms. Trout is here, my
that's fine,
lady.
thank you. As long as I have a prosecutor on screen, that's fine.
Although I don't profess to be a
Okay.
substitute for Ms. Smith.
All right, this appears to be my final matter for the list. Patrick Dyer.
Yes, my lady, I'm here for that.
Yes, and you, Mr. Dyer?
Yes, here I'm here, my lady.
Thank you. And Mr. Dyer, you're representing yourself?
Yes, I am.
Okay, in the prosecution of your appeal.
Yes.
And let me see if I can just pull up your. I have respondents, I have submissions already from the Crown. And you had technical difficulties on the last occasion. I think that was the 15th of February.
Yes.
And you sent an email saying that you were unable to sign
Connect.
in. All right.
Yes.
But you're fine, obviously. I've seen you all afternoon, so there's
Yes,
no general problem with Zoom,
I
right?
sorted it out myself.
Excellent. So all that remains is for you to have a different or another date set for the hearing of your appeal. Did you file any kind of submissions?
Only an exhibit I put forward about three other cases that were similar
Yes,
to
I
mine.
have that. Thank you. All right, that's
And,
fine.
And it was just to sort of give some similar sort of situations as my case.
Okay.
And but I know today is only a mention. It's just I was
Yes.
wondering if, with all due respect, if with my application for returning of my driving license, I was wondering if the prosecutor actually had any resistance to my appeal.
Well, the prosecutor has taken the time to file written submissions so you can see what the Crohn's position is. I assume that those were served on you. You have those written submissions?
Only in the summary of evidence and the actual,
No, Ms.
my appeal record. That's all I have.
Ms. Trott, have you caused Mr. Dyer to be served with your submissions?
My lady, my understanding is that he was served with them.
Okay, maybe that's something the two of you can sort out after we adjourn. But
Certainly, my lady.
The only document I have before me is my notice of appeal record and my exhibit number 1.
Mr. Dyer, do you have an address for us to serve this at?
I am at number 26 Ingham's Vale, Pembroke, HM04.
And do you also have an email address?
Yes, I do. prdyer@outlook.com.
all right.
Thank you. Thank you.
I am looking at Friday, the 8th of April at 2:30 p.m.
Friday.
That's fine for the Crown, my lady.
All right,
2:30.
at 2:30 p.m. by Zoom. So the same platform, and that would be Friday, the 8th of April at 2:30 p.m.
Okay, that's fine.
Thank
With me.
you.
Thank you.
Mhm. No other directions being necessary, I think we can adjourn, and that is my final matter. So it seems to me that I can adjourn altogether. Thank you very much, Council.
Oblige, your worship.
Thank you.